Recorded Books and One-Click Digital present Dead Man's Road by Randy Denmon, narrated by Pete Bradbury. Chapter 1. Wyoming Territory, March 1868. Marshall Brewster looked out across the wide creek and magnificent new bridge under construction. In the gorge below, the deep, slithering, slicing canyon hid the river behind its rock walls and shadows. 50 men worked at the end of track, where the new railroad pushed on into the unknown via their blood and sweat. Across the chasm, the masons finished the foundations for the bridge's abutment. Reaching out over the 300-foot span, almost like a bird taking flight, the huge wood trestle, girders, and support piers crept to the other bank through the sound of hammers banging away. The day had warmed under the noon sun. Behind him, men labored, touching up the shiny new track with additional spikes and filling a large hole on the bridge's approach, the final obstacle to connect the track to the span. The rail descended a 50-foot ridge to reach the bridge, and a series of small hills and draws had been flattened and graded on the bridge's approach to accommodate the rail's uniform grade. Marshall inspected the stash of materials on site. 2 kegs of black powder, beams and girders, bricks and mortar, and an assortment of fasteners. He correlated the material with the quantities required. To the south, over the horizon, the surveyors plotted the course over one of the most foreboding landmasses in the world, southern Wyoming. "What you think, Chief?" the bridge foreman, a short, stocky Irishman with weather-beaten skin, a big red beard, and a heavy accent, said. "Looks good, Paddy. I need 30 more crates of bolts and another car of those 20-foot beams, else we'll be twiddling our thumbs by dark. We'll also need that last deck span tomorrow so we can start rigging it." Marshall nodded up the hill. "A new shipment of black powder arrived today. It's staged at the top of the hill. As soon as we finish the bridge, I want it moved forward to the next escarpment so we can start blasting. Looks like the work's going well." Aye, they'll be through here in 3 days, no problem, and just a little clean-up work." Marshall cocked his head and yelled to a young engineer under a tent. "John, do you have that report for me on the 2 men injured in the blasting accident last week?" One of the young engineers brought the report to Marshall before promptly returning to his work. "The 2 men will be all right," Paddy said, crossing himself. "Just an accident. The boys get careless with the frenzy of the work, the urge to hurry. It's inevitable." Marshall tried to keep an emotionless face. "This is dangerous work. The men know that. What's important is that we convey to the men we're doing all we can to minimize the hazards." Marshall paused to make sure he got the point. Aye. Marshall pointed to the bridge. "Tell all the men on the bridge there'll be a $3 bonus if the bridge is completed in 3 days. Do whatever we have to. Everything will come to a stop if we don't finish this bridge by week's end. Let me know if you need more men, anything." "We'll make it," Paddy laughed. Marshall walked over to his horse, grabbed the reins, and put a foot in the stirrup. "I've got to get back to headquarters. Make sure you get what you need. Mail and paid train also runs today." A scream ripped through the crisp, clean air. 4 men ran from the bridge site. Back up the railway, a single flat car rolled down the track to the bridge, picking up speed, its deck loaded with 20 wooden barrels of black powder. Marshall shoved his horse to the side. "Run!" he yelled. On the bridge, the 12 men grading all dashed away from the track. One stumbled to his knees as he fled. Up the hill, the rail car, now only 200 paces from the bridge, gained speed. Marshall ran to a rock outcropping. 2 workers sprinted across the bridge deck in his direction. "Jump off!" Marshall yelled as he dove for cover. Landing face first, he tasted the dirt as he rolled on his side. The steady squeaking of the car's wheels filled his ears. A loud skid, a thud, metal screeched. On the bridge, the 2 men, terror on their faces, leaped from the deck. Marshall balled up, squeezing his eyes shut. The ground shook. The air flickered red. An ear-splitting boom erupted. A cool gust of air rushed over him. His ears ringing, he cringed as earth rained from the sky.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?